All right,
Hello.
perfect. Let me just get this YouTube link to drop in the chat. Okay, perfect. Um, all right, so tonight is going to be a short call. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. I hope your Sunday's been amazing. Today's gonna be a short call because my dad's still here and he told me he was gonna wait on me. And so I was like, Daddy, I gotta do this call because I was sick and I was out for the count, and these people need me, and I don't want to cancel today because obviously, after the whole concussion thing, I want to make sure I'm fully present with you guys. So, I told him, give me 30 minutes. So we're gonna do a short call, but it's gonna be an effective call, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. There are some things that I do want to go over, and I want to make tonight a teaching call. I might have to do a two-part on it. It's gonna be on Fibonacci. I am probably gonna talk fast because I have a lot of stuff that I want to get out. But the beautiful part is that all of this is recorded. So if there is something that somebody missed, just make sure you run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back. The best part about these Sunday calls is that they are literally live and you can play them back as many times as you guys need to. Okay. Everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes, ma'am.
right.
Yes,
Before I
ma'am.
do get started, I posted in the group. So I want to go over Fibonacci, but let's just piggyback off of the trades for last week. And they were very brief trades. Like one of them, y'all remember on GJ, I had just eyeballed it. We didn't even really go into full depth with it. Like I don't trade GJ often at all. But we had eyeballed it last week. I don't remember the question that somebody had on it, but when we were on there, I had just pulled up the chart. So let's just pull up, let me type in GJ. Can you guys see my chart? No, hold on.
Nope.
Share. All right, here we are. You guys can see this?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So last week, again, all of this price structure, like none of this was really here. We had just eyeballed the chart and I had saw that there was a foundation level that was pretty much here that I had just said on the call that price needed to reach there. We were already on our way there, but then on the call, I had drawn this purple zone under here because obviously anytime we have a break, we need a retest. So I was trying to see a level of resistance that had not been retested yet. So on the call, I drew this purple zone there. Again, we didn't go in too much detail just because this wasn't like GJ's not really something I trade often. However, I think because somebody had a question, we had our GJ charts up and then I just gave like a quick little rundown of it. But this did give us a perfect test break and retest opportunity. So this resistance that was broken and then retested as support. The only reason I even had, okay, it was going up was because our foundation level. So I say that to say that even when I want everybody to do full out analysis, period, point blank. Like you have to look at everything just from experience. I had eyeballed it and just my cues and understanding, like, okay, this is a foundation level. Our foundation levels are used as our what? Magnets. So price is
Hmm.
attracted to those areas. So literally just pinning off of that, that is why I had price reaching there. So ultimately we got a test break and retest. This was a beautiful, I will say it was a beautiful opportunity here. We had went into so much stuff from last week. I think it was primarily based off of, well, we had talked about a couple things, but this was a perfect opportunity if somebody took this position. But after I got off the call, I had posted that night about GU and said there was a beautiful setup that was setting up.
Oh,
And y'all
hold
know
on.
GU actually is my baby. Okay, so let's go over this because the trade setup was beautiful. Before I go over it though, how many people took GU? How many people executed it? How many people knew what I was talking about when I said that there was a beautiful setup on GU? I do want to know transparency.
Hmm.
Definitely did.
After the fact,
After the fact, after the fact you saw it, or after the fact you understood.
took it. Yeah, I took it. My trend line, I had moved it. So once I realized that I had moved it, I moved it back and I got the entry. after I
Okay,
talk.
cool. Okay, anybody else caught it? I see some people in the chat. I caught Nat said he caught it. Dara said he caught it. Did anybody else catch it?
I caught
Jessica,
it.
I don't trade GU, but I looked at it and I thought it was beautiful too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, still, well, who is drawing on my screen? Y'all about to make me cut off everybody. Can y'all see? Everybody can see? Fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Come
Yes.
on,
Yes.
y'all. Be respectful. That made me put the
Turn
respect.
turn your annotation off.
I was about to, but
Okay.
I like when people have questions, they could just ask me. We don't got nobody crazy in our group for the most part. So hopefully,
Now my phone was in my purse, so I hope that wasn't me, but I was just saying. But
okay.
I'm
Okay, so yeah, so regardless if you trade GU, regardless, no matter what you guys trade, all of these things are universal, which is why the beautiful part is understanding technical analysis. Even there's this one girl who reached out to me. She trades futures from my course, and she's been super successful at it. And um, like technical analysis, once you learn it, you can apply it to anything, whether it's options, whether it's crypto, whether it's the futures market, whether it's forex, whatever the case may be, you are learning technical analysis. So the beautiful opportunity I was talking about is once I got off the call, I don't know why maybe we ran out of time. I don't even know. Because if I would have saw this on the call, I would have reached out. I mean, I would have definitely mentioned it, but when I wrote in the group that GU was setting up beautifully, this is where we were.
mm,
We literally had this buy that was obviously this beautiful, strong trend line right here that just was like calling our name. Okay. Like this was so gorgeous. So, anyways, we had our break and then ultimately our main retest here. And then when I grabbed the bars pattern for it, I literally just looked left. I think I got this bars pattern from right here, actually. Uh, yeah. Yep, that was it. So I had dragged this here, and then I had only had price going to this zone because you guys know those are my stopping points. So we talked a little bit about stopping points last week. I'll go over a little bit again today, just for clarification purposes, and also on the GJ trade, it's another reason why we do take our stopping points because if somebody had not taken the stopping point of that, um like executing and pulling at this point, then all of those profits would have ultimately turned negative. See that? However, that was still a lot of pips from a trade for 88 pips if you took it. But it followed fib structure, everything negative 61.8 before the reversal. That's neither here nor there. So let's go back to GU real quick. Because this is a trade I want to go in depth about. Okay, so I think I had sent a group. I don't even remember what time I sent the message, um, but I was in the market all night that night. It was where's the message? I did send a
It
message
looked
on
like 112.
AM.
Yes.
Okay. Oh
Like
no, it's
looking at
11 p.m. 11
oh
p.m. All right. So around 11 p.m., it was literally like right after the call because I remember I was mad at myself. I was like, oh my God, like why didn't I pull up GU on the call? So we were like right here at the time. Like it had to have been like right here. So this was a perfect, just beautiful setup opportunity. So ultimately, I was waiting on this retest and then the retest hit beautifully. But also, what I want to go over tonight is literally understanding our fib structures in a minor structure to our major structure because that is how you like when we talk about these stopping points and when do we need to get out or how do we know the market's not going to keep going like so forth and so on like the questions that were asked last week. This is a perfect learning opportunity to understand that. Now I do want to say based off of how I trade, I'm more of an intraday trader, especially in today's climate. Can you guys see me? I can't see y'all. Usually I see y'all's faces on the side of me. Can y'all see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You and the
Yeah.
chart.
Really? Hold on.
Mhm.
Where y'all at?
See
You know,
you.
I like to look at y'all
We're at the
facial
top of my
expressions so I
screen
can
now.
know who got
We
it.
used to be at the bottom.
Hold on. What's happening? Okay.
Here we are.
Now. No. Okay, I can see you guys now. All right, perfect. All right, so where was I? What did I say? Stopping points.
hmm
Okay. All right. So when we understand our stopping points, actually, I don't remember the thought that I was just saying. So I'm just gonna
You're
start
about to talk
over.
about fibs, all the
Okay,
fibs.
yes, that
Yeah,
is
you
what I'm
How
gonna
did.
to
go
help
over
Yeah.
with
tonight. But did
entry and
I
exit.
finish my stopping points
No.
running or no? Okay, so no, what I was saying is that in today's climate, um, with the current administration and everything, there is a lot of volatility. Now, this is what I want to say because a lot of people are in other markets. Like I had a friend yesterday who's in the options market and was like, how is your trading going? I was like, it's going great. Why? She was like, because like I've been losing so many positions because the market is just, she's not a student. She's just one of my trading friends. She was like, I've been losing a lot, but I feel like it's because Donald Trump, like the market's just not moving like it usually moves. And that is why I urge people to learn the foreign exchange market. Because once you learn the foreign exchange market, you know how to trade everything. It's easy when stocks are literally slow and you're gradually like 2020, everybody made money in stocks. Obviously, the market was so low that all you had to do was buy and you were going to make money on whatever investment you were in. When it comes to options market, like the foreign exchange market, the reason that people think that is so bad or is this or is that or people talk so much about it is because there is a lot of volatility. But as a foreign exchange market trader, the volatility is what gives you the money. Once you learn how to maneuver and understand structure and market structure and price action, that sets you up to be able to execute always. And we are able to execute always, no matter what market you're in, you're able to identify because of that movement. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Yes.
did.
Okay. So I wanted to go over this when I talk about my bib structure because it's a perfect example of the question last week when somebody said, how do you know that the market is going to keep going? Or how do you know that it's gonna stop in that area, whatever the case may be, right? So let's just go over this. Point A, point B, price pullback. This was the entry for this sell. I specifically took profit at this zone because that is how I trade. Okay. I take it as stopping points because you don't know if at that zone price is going to push up and continue higher. Right. Because again, in today's market of where we are, I'm taking smaller moves, not long swing trades. Long swing trades could still give you profitability based off of overall structure. But in today's climate, there's a lot of volatility. So, I mean, I just trade like I always trade, but I keep it in my intraday movements. Okay. Now, this fib structure is going to help you understand um, a couple of things. It's going to help you understand why structure is important, but also when people say, oh, how do you know when to drag down your fibs or continue a fib or make a new fib? I'm about to go over all of it in one. Okay. Now, if I just look at this price action here, let's just say here. All right, let's just use this structure. I didn't take this cell right here, but I'm gonna start right here because this is still teacher like important based off of teaching. Okay. So point A, point B, price pulls back, hits negative 61.8. When I talk about my negative 61.8s, I'm gonna actually hide this. Well, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm gonna scoot this over so that nobody's confused. Uh, no, I need that there. Hold on. All right. I want to keep it on there. Everybody ignore the negative 27 that's on the bottom. This one right here. Okay. Just follow me from up here. All right, so we have point A, point B. Price hits negative 61.8, literally pulls back. Remember, a negative 61.8 on minor structure is a pullback, but on higher time frame is a reversal. But that it's still a reversal on minor structure. It's just that because it's minor structure, it's technically a pullback in regards to overall structure. Make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that makes
This negative 61.8. Is this a fib that I would stop, or is this a fib that I would pull out for a continuation?
pull out for continuation.
Stop.
No,
Pull
stop.
out for continuation.
Why pull out for a continuation and why stop?
I say
Stop
stop.
because you're in the
Looks like a
zone. You're in the
minor
support
minor
area.
structure.
All right, you say pull stop because of a zone, and then somebody said pull out for a continuation because of what?
I said
Minor
because overall structure and then finish playing out.
Okay. So
Yes.
pull out for a continuation because you have a new low that supersedes the previous low. Does that make sense? So
Correct.
at this point right here, higher low, higher low, higher low, right here, this higher low point. At the point in which just make a lower point right here, this is now
Because
to
it's
be
on a
pulled
minor
down.
structure.
Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yes.
But even when you pull it down, did somebody say no?
But Jessica, I have a question. When you pull it down, you see, because you have that zone, I guess I'm always hesitant when there's a zone because I don't know if it's going to break out of that zone just yet.
But it's a
Um,
minor zone. So that's the part you got to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to taking an actual trade and understanding stopping points, just like I said, I took my stopping point at this zone right here
mm-hmm.
when I
And the
was in the
version is
trade
setting
to the
up.
right. However, understanding structure, remember, this is such a small price. We're in minor structure right now.
That's
I
true.
have a
Understand?
question.
So you
Right.
have higher lows and higher highs all throughout that
Mm-hmm.
are a bigger picture of this smaller thing that's happening right here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Hey,
understand that?
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So so you're assuming because this is minor structure, okay, minor structure can always easily be broken. So
Well, first off, before you even execute this, you understand that you're in minor structure first.
right,
So you
right.
always have to have, like, you always know that this isn't your main structure. That's why we go between our multiple trading charts. So we know just by understanding structure that this is a minor structure right here.
That's
This
true.
is a
Okay.
minor structure making a higher time frame structure. The thing is that you
Right.
don't know when that higher time frame structure is going to play out. So when to exiting a position, yes, I exit when I see my zones because specifically for me, and again, if you guys want to be swing traders, like remember, in my course, I teach you structure. You can apply that to your own personality type. I'm not going to tell you whether you need to be an intraday trader, swing trader, or scalper. That depends on your tolerance level, your patience level, your money, like all of those different things take into account. You can dictate that based off of your individual personalities, right? But here's the thing. Dang, did I delete my? I I didn't delete my drawing, did I? I know I just hold on over here. Wait, hold on. Dang, time going fast. Time going fast, y'all. Oh no, I deleted it. Dang. Okay, let me draw that trend line back on here. But it's no different than your course. You have a smaller trend line breaker retest and you have a higher time trend line breaker retest. You notice this smaller structure even by this. You see this as a higher time frame trend line? You see this going through this?
Yes.
Okay. So remember, even in your course where you guys have the trend line break and recess of minor structure before a major structure. So this would be a first sale before the higher time frame sale. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
This would be your minor, and then over here where you enter right here would be your major. Now, again, the thing about it is, and the reason I specifically took profit right here is because I have a foundation level above and I don't got time for consolidation. Now, this particular one didn't consolidate for this, even though overall. It's still testing this multiple times, but you don't know when it's going to go back up. Like you have to use your context. Like nobody knows any of this stuff until it's forming. So for instance, right? Let me just give you an example. So when I was particularly looking at this trade and I started to see, okay, when I messaged the message that, hey, there's an entry opportunity on GU, or this is a perfect, beautiful setup on GU. There was two things that were forming. Well, actually, a couple things that were forming for this. Number one, I have this divergence that is literally just beautiful as day. I have divergence on a retest area. Like, remember when we talk about sometimes you have those trades as clear as day where it's just like you know that you know that you know without a shadow of doubt that that's it's just there. Like, what do you mean? This is one
This
of
is your
those.
textbook.
Like, yes, this it's a textbook trade. So we hit, it was obvious this will reverse right here. Number one, we have a zone, even taking this by. You have divergence down here. You have a zone. You have a break and retest of this minor trend line coming through this. You have a zone, you have divergence, and then this was a break and retest. This retest right here was just a minor retest of this before the overall sell happened. So even taking a sell to the left, there were three opportunities. Now, I didn't take the one up here. I wasn't in the market at the time. I didn't take this one, but this was the one that I had called out on you guys on the group before this happened. But this is what I mean by textbook. When all the stars align. When the stars aren't aligned, when people say, "Oh, like I had anxiety in that trade," this is a trade that you don't have anxiety in because it's like you had all your confirmations and confluences lined up before you actually executed that position. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we have this divergence, boom, here. This was enough for me. Um, it's pretty trade. This from point A to point B to this zone here. Now, obviously, looking at structure, we know this will go lower, but again, that comes with like, okay, waiting for your structure to actually break and then all of the things. By this point, I was just done with the market. So this could have easily bounced up and then pulled back up before, because remember, this wasn't a trend line. This trend line was invalid until that second point was formed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Jessica,
So
on the fib, how did you know? Because I know that you usually put the fib once the breaking structure, once you see a breaking structure. Where was the breaking structure on this structure right here when you put the fib?
which one? The one that I
The
have?
yeah, the one you was just the one right there that you playing with right there.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
So this right here made a lower low beyond this point here. Um, you see that?
Uh-huh.
So you
Right,
see
right.
how that came from the left. It was making higher highs and higher lows all throughout.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that breaking structure, but you had the fib up
The one
and
right here, that was a
yeah,
minor structure trade.
okay.
So these minor trades are the trades that's where we talk about our minor structure. That's our minor structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So on the minor
So
structure, you
these are
saw
your
that.
ins and outs. Like you're not, these are your ins and outs of your minor structure. I didn't take a trade over here. I was just showing you guys that part because the confirmation, let me just go back. Okay, so you have a minor trend line going through here. And then this is a minor trade. If I was in this position, now again, I did not take this position because I wasn't in the market at this time. I'm just showing you what you're looking at when you're in positions, right? So this, once this had this higher time frame, I'm sorry, not higher time frame. Once this had this steep uptrend and I had confirmation for this, like this meaning confirmation, this minor, remember in your course, you have the minor trend line break and retest before the major trend line break and retest. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Yeah, I
this
remember.
is what validates your sell for this. So this is just a minor position that could have been taken. The only reason I referenced it was because I was showing you guys the extension of your fib. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But even in that, this is still valid for somebody who is experienced and can see structure. Like in your course, where you guys have the minor trend line break. Hold on, let me mute somebody. In your course, when you have the minor trend line break and retest before the major trend line break and retest, there's something very important that happens there. Even if you back test all of those the examples in the course where you have those minor before the majors, you don't have structured shifts yet. Y'all know what I'm talking about in the course?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
There
Yes.
aren't structure shifts yet. These is teaching you to take advantage of the positions before the overall structure shift so that you can extract money before the overall move. So you know how sometimes even in the past where I'll be going over a trade and I'll be like, my experienced people can enter here, but my novice traders, I want you to wait for the overall break and retest.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
an example of this in so many words. When you ask, how do you know that this would be a fib structure here? I have a confirmation that I have a minor trend change confirmed. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah.
guess where I get confused at, Jessica, is because the I don't see where the structure broke until it went down where you got the red box at. So like right there after it broke the structure after the was the 0.00 right there, it broke right there at that structure. Then that's when I see the structure being broke, but I don't see any structure prior to that being broke.
So I want you to follow me. A uptrend going into a downtrend is a change in structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So technically, based off of what you're saying, okay, so you have two ways that you want to look at structure, right? You have what you just said, which is where you have your higher highs and higher lows. And this is going to be something I feel like we went over this on a Monday call too, where you guys might have to um tell them don't leave. I'm almost done.
She's still trying.
All right. So do you see how here this is an uptrend going into like when you just said you don't see a structure shift. This would be this last low and you didn't see a shift change until this made a new low. That's the example of what you just saw, where you
Yeah,
said you didn't see one until that happened, right?
right.
Okay. What I'm saying is before this even happens, so in your course, you have where you have a minor trend line break and retest before a major trend line break and retest. I'm saying on structure highs and lows, this is where you're absolutely right. You did not see a lower low be formed before this all going all the way down here. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is in your course, you have something where I try to teach you guys how to kind of with experience, I don't want to say beat the gun, but be ahead of the curve because at the
Right.
moment in which a uptrend breaks and retests and turns into a downtrend, this happens before that. Do you see how this I'm gonna draw it in a box.
Yeah, and I guess I get scared because I get faked out a lot like that. So like I see where you saying with that, and I took trades where I see it like that, but then it continued that uptrend because it didn't break structure.
Nah, you gotta practice it because you
Yeah,
have to have
Candlesticks are telling you that.
but you also have to have multiple confirmations. You can't just get in out of the clear blue. Like you see where, okay, so you see this,
mm-hmm.
this happens before this happens. Let me draw. This happens before this happens. Do you see that?
Right, yeah,
It's a minor move before that overall. Now, again, this does take practice, but I'm just showing you like in real life how the trades are taken. So before this low is formed for this, there's a minor move that happens that when I say structure breaks, it went from an uptrend to a downtrend.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or the overall lower lows and lower highs forming, which you're talking about. So let's go back over to our
Isn't your 30 minutes up? Yes, it is.
it is.
Go be with your
Come
dad.
on.
Okay, well look. If I see some, or I mean, I know I will see some. I'm gonna analyze the market. I'll drop some more in a group before I take anything. And then I'm gonna finish a whole fib call. Maybe next week we commit the whole call to fibs because there is some stuff that we like really need to go over. Okay. I hope this call wasn't all over the place because I was trying to really hurry
You're
up.
the best girl.
All right, yeah, thanks,
Yeah, tell
Jess.
your
Thank
dad
you.